Oh, hi. Hello there. Almost didn't see you there.
Good afternoon.
Hey,
How's it going?
I'm Brian Jonas, 42 Hello Kitty.
And I'm Jamie Roseborough, 40 Repeato. And this is the
Yeah.
F3 Circle of Trust.
Let's go.
From the worldwide studios of F3 Nation,
I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
this is the Circle of Trust, connecting the men of F3 Nation through fitness, fellowship, and faith.
Andrew Maggio, 35, Wirebiter.
Mike Critical 35, Saganaki!
Saganaki. Peter Ranky, 63, Bambi. Jim Chicola, 47, half day.
The Circle of Trust starts right now.
Shut up and sit down.
Back once again and checking in on a Wednesday afternoon this week. And welcome to the F3 Circle of Trust. It's your boy, Hello Kitty. Got my road dog, Jamie Vance Roseborough, better known as Repeato across the F3 gloom. And we are joined here with you with all things fitness, fellowship, and faith. And of course, the most loyal international viewer we have, none other than the man himself, checking in from Kenya. Big fella, good to see you. Funny car in the house from Hampton Roads. The Packs are with it. And they're with us. And my friend, it's a great day to wear a blue hoodie and a COT hat.
And a blue hoodie and a COT hat. That is true. And it just goes to show that the loyal listeners are loyal listeners and watchers, right? We switch the day, keep the time. Maybe we switch the time, we switch the day. Boom. The beast is here.
They're here.
Funny car is here. And so how are you, my friend? I haven't seen you in about 7 hours.
We got to spend part of the morning together, and we're grateful that you guys are spending part of your afternoon with us. We're live on NGBN TV across the F3 social media platforms as well. And this thing, not only live on the network, go download the app if you haven't already, but also available on demand on NGBN TV and on demand across those F3 social channels. So I had the cue this morning at the newly minted Die Another Day, which is the Wednesday morning ruck option. The reason it's called that with the Bond reference is it runs parallel to the Wednesday Mega Power in Carpex, known as Shaken Not Stirred. And so we had a good time, man. I got my goal this morning on the ruck queue was last week. I noticed, and it was a great workout with our boy East Coast Bartman. We did a heavy rep count, staying in the parking lot style. So my thought this morning was, cool, let's get the boys moving then, and we're going to move with some intentionality, which is what we did.
Yeah, man. And I still haven't seen this reenactment of Bartman going ass over tea kettle with a sandbag.
I got to tell you, it was outstanding.
I didn't see it.
So here's what happened, Pax. And if you've worked out enough with a ruck and a sandbag, you'll get it. But Bartman somehow had a sandbag on his shoulders with his ruck, and he tripped or something. And the way in which he just very smoothly got rid of the sandbag and then turned and relieved himself of his ruck.
He's a graceful somebody, I'll tell you that.
He's part of the thick thigh club, as you and I are, and big calf club.
He's in the bison class.
And he moved with the elegance of water.
I thought
he was like Bruce Lee. I thought I was watching Bruce Lee.
I thought somebody said that he was doing a thruster or a lift, clean, and toss, and it got caught. On his chest strap.
That's right. And it just,
or it's like a water hose clip, and he threw it, and he went with it.
It could have been really bad, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But he's an athlete. He's an athlete, and he's a gamer. But he did that. You've had this happen where if you're doing a trail run or even a ruck, and you trip, fall, and something happens, and you do this sort of pat everything. Like, I still have my wallet, my phone, and my keys. I never had my wallet, my phone, and my keys because we're in the middle of a workout. But where's all my stuff? Like, he did a quick assessment. He assessed the situation. He was good, and we just kind of kept on rolling.
I love that. Yeah. Well, and then this morning it was good to get moving under the feet, under weight, in a slick fashion.
Yeah. Props to our man Skipper, who I knew this, but I didn't know it in the middle of the workout because I wanted the guys moving, double timing, right?
Yeah,
he was rocking at 53 lbs in the ruck today. So the boy's done graduate. He's lost 20 pounds. He's added more to his ruck. How does that work? It's amazing.
Well, you know what he's progressing towards, don't you?
He's doing something incredible. 75 pounds?
75 pounds on a Maynard route in under 3 hours.
Sweet Maria. That's 10.7 miles of undulation. With that kind of weight, under 3 hours. We did it the other day. We did it last weekend.
Right.
And there was a whole group of us. And we did it in sub 3, but he was the only one at plus 30, I'm sure.
Probably. Yeah, and you might have been at 35 if you got water or anything else in there.
I was at 30. I was an easy 30.
that was a strict ruck plate in the weight of the ruck.
I had a Nalgene. Okay. It didn't have that much.
I even took the carabiners off to save a few ounces. So to coincide with his pursuit of and completion of 75 hard. We have this thing here in Carpex that I think a lot of people have it. There's some form of fashion in their own region. DES, do epic stuff.
Yep.
And so that Misogi idea, do something hard. I don't know that Misogi, the Maynard rises to the level of Misogi.
The guy that trained Daniel LaRusso, is that who that is? Yes. Same guy.
Wax on. So it's been a good morning.
Yeah.
Good day.
Yeah.
I've got a couple kids out of town with grandma and grandpa. So the house is a little bit quieter, a little more freedom and flexibility in the early AM to get out.
Yeah, but it means you have the hottest of all sauces is still in the mix. And she brings the fire of 17 children. Everyone knows this.
She was up from 2:33 until about
2:33. That's literally the middle of the night.
Literally is the middle of the night.
Wow. Man, I feel for you, bro. Listen, we got a great show coming up. 3 live guests. So today's a big conversation style circle of trust. And you guys know that we unite here every week through fitness, fellowship, and faith. Before we go any further, let's give a shout out to the folks that help make this show possible. And we've got some great sponsors. And I had those Mudgear speed rucks on the feet today because I knew we were going to be on multiple levels of terrain. We wanted to get cooking and moving.
That's right.
And so big shout out to the guys at Mudgear. Thanks for all that they do. They've been outfitting the packs for years, and they've got a lot more than just those F3 shirts that you guys so proudly wear. The best socks in the game, great shorts, great shirts. Go to mudgear.com. Use our code COT. You can save 15% off today. And thanks to the fine folks at Momentous who have been hooking us up with great supplements, all the things you guys need to perform at your best. Creatine, whey protein, D3. If you're looking for some hormone boost, they got everything covered under one roof. Go to livemomentous.com. Use the code BrianJ. That creatine has absolutely helped me in some recent strength goals and gains. And not only does it help in muscle growth, it also helps with the brain as well. So those are all good things. And they got everything you need covered there.
Yeah, man.
So go support those great folks that support us. And we will hear from our friends at Warrior Biz Network in the first commercial break. So they've got some things to tell you about as well. We got 3 live guests coming up. Pork Roll waiting in the green room. He just recently completed a 4x4x48 Goggin style challenge. So he's going to tell us the why behind that. Craig Hannum from NGBN TV, formerly of the United States Army, is going to join us to talk about this big rally event around April the 6th that we've been talking about. And, oh yes, the newly minted Nan'tan of F3 Nation. Dark Helmet stopping by for his first, since taking the reins, live address of the men. But he's been getting you guys what you need over the last few years. So big show from that standpoint.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. Got a lot of lot to get to, a lot of people to talk to.
Yeah.
And then obviously you and I to just continue our thing.
Doing what we do here.
Yeah.
Which really, by the way, guys, is therapeutic for both of us. Just so you know, obviously. They're probably
nice to take time out of the day. And connect with the packs of the nation.
Well, and we shifted our schedule this week because obviously it's a big week. Travel starts up. Many of you might be on spring break this week, right? Yeah. Leading up to the Easter holiday. Maybe some of you go on after that. So all good things. Just loving the guys chiming in from wherever they're watching at, and grateful that we get to do this with you. How about we take a quick break?
Okay.
Vance, all right. We'll do that when we come back. He's not Taylor ham. He's pork roll. So quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Family Farms, where our culinary journey is woven with passion, dedication, and a commitment to crafting the finest bacon-wrapped chicken, a timeless delicacy that has tantalized the taste buds since 1974. At Family Farms, we're more than just a traditional name. We've evolved into purveyors of gourmet delights. Join us on this flavorful adventure, where every bite tells a story of tradition, quality, and the enduring spirit of Family Farms.
Hello, my name is Craig Hannum. I'm with NGBN TV on April 6th. We'll be conducting 2 live broadcasts back-to-back, 9 to 11 Eastern, 9 to 11 Pacific. It's called Equip Ourselves to Save a Life. Let's end suicide in North America. I'm inviting you to join us. I will teach you the subtle indicators on how to prevent suicide. You don't want to miss this. It's unprecedented. It's never happened before. No network has ever tried this, and we're going to do it. We're going to end suicide. So please join me. It's 100% free to register. I'll see you there.
Back in the good old days, we used to have these large yellow books delivered right to our doorstep that gave us phone numbers of businesses and services that could meet our needs. The only problem is, we didn't know if we could trust any of them. Well, thanks to F3, we are connected with incredible packs in our local communities. But what we don't necessarily have is a listing of the businesses of those packs. Introducing the F3 Warrior Biz Network, where you can connect with packs in your local community or from coast to coast throughout this great nation. You can connect with other biz packs to meet your needs, or if you're a business owner, you can register your own business so that other packs know about the services that you provide. Through the Warrior Biz Network, you have reliability and you have connectivity, and you can sign up today to represent your business or to find other businesses that you can trust. Join the Warrior Biz Network today at warriorbiznetwork.com.
Welcome back to the Circle of Trust. Your boy Hello Kitty hanging out with Repeato. Let me tell you something about that bacon wrapped chicken, bro.
I was waiting for like a whole litany of products, and it was like bacon wrapped chicken. That's what we do.
Bacon wrapped chicken. They do these chicken, gosh, I can't remember what they call them, but it's like this little chicken appetizer thing. Their chicken burgers are phenomenal. When we were out at the Super Bowl,
a care package.
Listen. So when we had the NGBN crew out at the Super Bowl, I don't know if you remember, but remember I was broadcasting live from the Super Bowl. Kind of a big deal.
I recall
kind
that
of a
was
big deal.
Part of something you did in February.
Kind of a big deal. They sent us a whole box of freeze-dried food to the team house. And so me and AC of AC Sports Live got to cooking. In fact, Fat Max, who's producing the show today, was there and got to eating. And it was outstanding. So, I mean, they've got so much stuff, really, in all sincerity, man, they're a great family-owned business. They want to do right by their product and their customers. They also are really heavily aligned with what we're trying to do to save men, not just here at F3, but in this combined shield lock with NGBN. Yep. And so the quality is outstanding, and they got stuff you can take and bake easy. They got stuff you can throw on the grill. And I'm telling you, dude, we had these chicken burgers they had cheese and stuff already in them. Bro. I see pork rolls salivating in the green room.
They have any pork roll?
Ready. They didn't have any pork roll, but we leave that to the fine folks of Southern New Jersey and across all the great parts of Philadelphia. So let's bring the roll in here. The man himself who's going to join us first, our first live guest, Pork Roll, coming out of Suncoast, man. I'm heading to Florida here tomorrow. First of all, check out this setup. Yeah. I think we just got big time, Repeato. What are you doing here? Over there. What are you doing?
Well, nobody told me to wear blue, by the way, so I'm kind of upset about that because you
got your badass black on. You got your great setup back there. So first and foremost, what's this setup, bro? What are you podcasting? What are you doing with all this?
Yeah, I have a little thing that I do, fitness Instagram that I have.
Okay. Yeah. All right, give us the sound off, right? Name.
I also have to say quickly, there's no such thing as Taylor Ham.
I know.
That's a myth.
Listen, trust me. Team
I was going to
Pork
say,
Roll
I think I've heard this story before from the Big Cat, but I needed a refresher, and maybe the audience does as well. Like I see Taylor ham and egg on a bagel at a shop, or
it's pork roll.
It's
Same
pork
thing.
roll.
It's a myth.
So what are we talking about here?
It is New Jersey's meat product, just like Philadelphia has
signature
scrapple and
breakfast
Spam has, or Hawaii has Spam. It's New Jersey signature.
Every region
meat.
has its signature meat, right? So where in and around our parts, James, there's plenty of people that want sort of a country ham biscuit, right? Love you good country ham biscuit. Meat helmets in the green room saying meat product is, a great FNG name, which it 100%.
I was going to say, please welcome FNG, North American meat product.
Let me explain what I think pork roll is and why I think everyone should like and embrace it. It has the qualities of that country ham that you so like.
Yeah.
That saltiness.
Yeah.
But then it's got the amazing texture, if done properly, of a thin sliced sausage, but almost like a fried bologna. So the more you fry, it gets this crispy edge to it. Pork roll, egg, and cheese on a Kaiser salt, pepper, ketchup. I mean, bro, it's where
you
it's
must
at.
have been
so,
to New Jersey because you described it perfectly.
my family's from New Jersey. My wife's from Philadelphia. So we're pork roll or bus people. We have it all the time. I mean, you can't eat it all the time. My doctor would tell your cholesterol. I had a physical yesterday.
It's fine.
Lower numbers a little high. I'm like, back off. James, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to NYBD3. We're going to get you pork roll, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup on a Kaiser, and you'll be good to go. Okay?
I'm down with that, but I'm pretty sure NYBD3 calls it a Taylor ham.
They do, but that means they're from northern New Jersey.
It just means they're wrong.
Well, there's always that too. So the guys in Princeton, Scar you and all you guys watching, they're probably Taylor ham guys. The Philly guys,
probably.
C-SPAN will tell you when he was in Philly, he knows what's up. So anyways, that's been this geographic reference to salted meats.
I could sit here and talk salted cured meats all day. But,
obviously with a man like pork roll, we could. Why did they name you that?
Because I'm from New Jersey, and that was just a reference that got thrown out at.
I probably would have called you Gabagool if it was up to me, but we'll take it.
I should be called Scrapple because I'm from the Philly area, but that's
we got a bada bing. Scrapple, it's got the word crap in it, so I've always stayed away from it. That's one way to look at it.
Scrapple.
All right, check this out. Roll. We saw you on the F3 Slack machine. Come on. Liver mush only drop thrill. You and Ma Bell. And your liver mush.
A little fried liver mush with some mustard on a Hawaiian roll is.
You got that fried potatoes mustard.
Put mustard on my biscuit.
All right, Roll. We saw you post about doing this 4x4x48 with your girlfriend. So first of all, tell us your F3 story. How long you been doing it, right? Give us your F3 bio.
Yeah, moved down to the Suncoast region back in June of 22. Bing, who he recruited me on Facebook. I was looking for a martial arts group, and this is even before I moved. This was probably back in February of 22. And he said, you don't need a martial arts group. I had a dad's group in New Jersey. You don't need to start a dad's group. We got a group for you when you come on down.
Yeah.
So it came down late June. August the 8th of 22 is my anniversary.
Nice.
It was a Saturday. We do 7 o'clock here on Saturday. And when they told me it was at 5:15 every other day, I said, yeah, okay, sure. And then that very Monday I was out, and it's basically I've been going ever since. I show up at least 5 days a week, if not more. We have 6 days a week here. I couldn't even tell you how many AOs down here in Suncoast. And it's amazing. F3 is now turned into I think you guys talked about me on your podcast once before. I have a sticker about this bigger than you can imagine on the back of my car.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, that's you. I remember that thing.
You're the psycho.
Yes.
Oh, wait. Well, listen, what part of always be branding don't you understand? You got to let them know, man. So to go from that to going after the 4x4x48, 4 miles every hour.
4 hour, every 4 hours.
4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. What
it.
made you want to do it? And I know there's a special why behind the reasoning and for what you guys were trying to accomplish. So just tell us a little bit about it.
So in August of 22, one of our packs, Cotter, introduced me to Andy Frisella's 75 Hard. Told my girlfriend about it on a Thursday, and she said, hey, we should do that. Let's start Monday. And that's how she operates. And I said, and I kind of told her because I kind of knew she would push us to do it. She's awesome like that. And so we started 75 Hard. One of the books that she ended up reading in 75 Hard was David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me.
Yeah.
That's where she learned about the 4x4x48 and said, hey, we should do this. And I said, I think you're right. And so another PAX down here, Sonic Boom. He is part of an organization called The Long Walk Home. It supports veteran suicide.
Yeah.
And so that is the organization that we raised money for.
Awesome.
And decided that in March, just about a week ago now, it was time to do it. And so that's what we did.
I'm racking my pick up the 6 brain because I think we had the Long Walk Home guy on our show.
That sounds familiar. Where did you do the event? What was the route, or what was the loop?
Yeah, so we read a lot about it, and we kind of figured that the best thing to do was just find a 4-mile loop right out the front door. So that Saturday we did all of our food prep. We knew that if we didn't plan,
you got to have all that ready, right? For that kind of
has to be done. It has to be done. If you do not, it's so cliche, but if you plan to fail, then you're failing to plan. So we had all the food done. The only thing we didn't do was, like, we made the burgers and we had the steaks and the chicken all prepped. And then when we got back, we grilled those up, but all the rice had been cooked, all the vegetables had been cooked, all that had been done. And then I had just a 2-mile, where I live down here in Suncoast is gorgeous. I have some trails, like an 1/8 of a mile from my house. Walked out there to the trails, 2 miles out, 2 miles back. And then at nighttime, she'll get mad at me for saying this, but she was kind of scared of the trails because of the gators. And
it's a good reason. It's a good reason. Make you run faster.
So, so we ended up just going, there's so many routes around here. We just would look at my watch and we would go 2 miles out and then 2 miles back. On the 10th one, we had some thunderstorms, so we went a little bit faster during the 10th round. But yeah, we covered pretty much my entire neighborhood. There was not a place that we didn't go.
Yeah.
So.
Outstanding. Ron Zaleski is the guy who founded the Long Walk Home that we knew, but could be separate entities. Either way. What did you learn about yourself through that process? And then maybe you guys doing it together. It's a cool shared experience.
So that is one of the things that I learned, is that, and F3 already teaches you this, right? Like, you don't leave your 6 behind and you don't leave anybody where you found them, but accountability partners are huge. And she was huge during this process. I would have definitely slept through one of the alarms if she wasn't here. Didn't even hear it. She woke me up for that one. And then we ended up setting 2 alarms. So, having an accountability partner, enormous. Same thing with 75 Hard. Having her as an accountability partner is huge. Perseverance, right? Like, there's so many times that you just don't want to get out of bed, but you swing your legs over, rub the sleep from your eyes, and you get out there. How many also things in our life do we not do because we're tired, right? And with this, you don't have that choice, and you realize that, you're tired. Like, on the 11th leg, I was basically sleepwalking and almost hallucinating. On the 12th leg, she was hallucinating, but you can do it. You can push through. If you have this goal, if you have everything planned out and you know exactly what it is that you have to do, you can get it done. And if you need to sleep the next day, then you sleep the next day. But it taught me that perseverance is really, you put your head down and you get it done. So
you said girlfriend. Sounds like a good woman there, bro.
She is an amazing.
I want to hold on to that one.
She's the best. There's no doubt. I will be holding on to that one.
Good man.
Shout out to Devin.
Absolutely. That is our man Pork Roll out of the Suncoast. Just finished up the 4x4x48.
Can I mention 2 quick things?
Please. Yeah, I was going to say, what's next and what else?
Yes. So down here in Suncoast, we have a convergence coming up. We hope to have 100 packs or more, and it's at the Bradenton Riverwalk.
Suncoast anniversary coming up, right?
Yep. That'll be the 7th anniversary.
Nice.
And then on April the 27th, we have a huge rucking event on Anna Marie Island called Mysterio. It's our 3rd installment. I actually ran it last year, and I'm running it again this year. It's more than just a ruck. It's also kind of like an escape room, if you will. So that's a whole lot of fun. And those are my 2 big announcements for Suncoast.
You get to wear a luchador mask, like Rey
Mysterio.
So on the first ruck, it wasn't actually called Mysterio, and then they found an action figure of Mysterio, and that's how it became. That's why it is called Mysterio.
This is what I love about F3 guys.
Is a part of it.
Sometimes it's like, it's got to be this big, intricate, drawn out story. It's like, nah, we just literally found an action figure and just named it after that.
Exactly.
All right, well, makes sense.
Right.
Good stuff.
That's
bro.
awesome.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for popping on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Good to connect with you, bud.
Man, good stuff. Pork roll out of the Sun Coast, setting big goals, making things happen.
The 4x4 48, I've seen guys do that or read about it, right? Feels like it's doable, right?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue you're going to run
planning.
to, just the fatigue element, because you can only get so much rest and you're not getting a continuous block of rest. But it's just, you got 2 full days to set aside, and then you get those 4 miles in every 4 hours. Yeah, for sure. I think it just takes a lot of planning. I think it's easy to get far enough into it and then just, I'm tired or whatever. We'll skip out. So I think it's just the duration of it, I think, is what makes it such a challenge too. You're going to do something for 2 days. That's going to be your sole focus pretty much for 2 days.
It's interesting. I feel like I'm seeing so many things like this of people pushing themselves beyond sort of, not just the norm or the beyond belief, but like there was the girl, Jasmine something. She just completed the Barkley Marathons, the first female to do it. And then I saw another guy get tweeted out today. He's been averaging more than a marathon.
Yeah. So this guy's from Team RWB, Team Red, White, and Blue, and his goal was to run across the country in a certain amount of time. They had to adjust a little bit. They were going to do 75 miles a day, right? Same guy.
This guy go ahead.
Same guy, 75 miles a day.
This is a different guy. This is a guy that's running across like Africa from the bottom to the top.
Whoa. That's pretty far.
Yeah. It's also like, probably 60, 80 degree temperature swings in some regions during the day.
Life has only gotten more comfortable. You're only going to have to go seek more discomfort. Right. Now, in doing so, when inevitably the discomfort comes, which trust me, friends, it will. Right. And when you least expect it, maybe you'll be a little more prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right. That's why it's why number 3 is held outdoors, rain or shine, hot or cold. Right. It's comfortable in the gym, man. It's plenty comfortable in there. It's comfortable on the Peloton bike.
Right.
But when it's raining or when it's going sideways or when it's 104 and you got to hydrate properly to take care of yourself, else you'll get in a bad way, then what are you going to do? And oh, by the way, when you're thrust into a uncomfortable situation, thank God I've been training.
Right. The times it matters. The times it matters most. Environmentals are not.
You get optimal. You get it. Hey, let's get our next guest in. Craig Hannum of NGBN TV, and a huge driving force behind this April 6th Equip Ourselves to Save a Life. Craig, good to see you. Army man, plenty of good I love me stuff on the walls behind you, so you must be hanging out in your den or bar or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I'm in my man cave, man. It's
man cave, bro.
Definitely. Yeah.
I thought we talked the other day about Red Sox hats. I thought we had an agreement.
We did. And I didn't listen to you.
Gotcha.
And so, I mean, if I get a COT hat, I'd be happy to wear that. But,
well, that's how it's going to work.
First time on the show, the guys demand.
Yeah, sure. I'll get you my dress later, but it's opening weekend this weekend.
That it is.
I'm going to watch the Red Sox beat the crap out of the Mariners on Saturday, so I'm pretty happy about that.
To all our brothers in Seattle, he's Craig, CRAIG at ngbntv.com if you want to send him an email. Brother, it's good to see you, man. We are gearing up for this incredible event, sort of historic. I mean, kind of groundbreaking kind of idea here on April 6th, where we're going to have 2 training sessions that you'll be hosting live, where people across the world can tune in and learn about ways in which to engage with, talk, listen, ask the right questions for someone in mental crisis, really with the goal of suicide prevention. Let's make it clear what we're aiming to do here. We're aiming to equip men to stop guys from doing the one thing we can't undo. And so we've got watch events that are going to be happening all over the F3 Nation. We got guys in New Jersey playing in North Carolina. We're going to host one from the barbershop. Repeato is going to host one from a guy's beach weekend, which would be a great part of what they're doing. But one thing I wanted to ask you about while we've got a few minutes with you today is, all right, tell us a little bit what those 2 hours are going to be like, right? What are guys going to learn? What are they going to walk away with?
They're going to be able to walk away with better equipped and better trained just in life in general, with be able to pick up on subtle micro expressions. Every time I hear someone say it was out of the blue, there was no indicator whatsoever. And sadly, there always are. But not everybody is highly trained to pick up on those things. So that's what we're trying to change across society, across North America, well, and globally, because everyone's tied in internationally. So, to where if you're sitting with your best friend and there's that one little thing, like they say something like, you know what, I don't feel like training for that big event today.
Yeah.
Well, that's an indicator. That's an invitation to me. I'm like, well, why not? Well, things aren't going so well at home. Start a conversation. Don't be mechanical about it. That's where we're going to train them, is not to be so freaking mechanical, where it's like, ask a direct question. Are you suicidal? Do you have a plan? Do you have access to it? Let's go see the wizard. No, you just create a barrier to communication. And what you told them was they're a checklist. So I'm not going to be teaching a checklist. We're going to be basically how to have a conversation, a very difficult conversation, because let's be honest, man, this is a taboo subject. And especially dads out there.
Yeah.
If your son, daughter, whoever comes to the dinner table and say, hey, my friend at school killed herself today, it's now time to have an open conversation, just like you would about sex with your child. Now, it's not the best conversation to have at the dinner table, but it's not the worst conversation to have.
Well, and it by not having it, you're only potentially setting yourself up for, terrible things that can happen. Jamie, what do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, it goes along with what we've been talking about the lead up to the event, to make people aware where to go find out more information and where to go register. And it's essential life training, like you just mentioned, from a dad perspective, from a community member's perspective, from a coworker perspective, from a spouse perspective, right?
Or stranger.
Kitty's had multiple instances over the last like 3 to 4 months in the gym or other places where randomly a conversation happens that ordinarily you wouldn't think would happen. And it was because somebody was looking a certain way or just felt the need to say something. And being able to have those tools in your toolkit when you're not normally, subjected to that type of training, is what we're trying to do here. I think I'm all bought in on the notion of, if it takes 100,000 people to train on April the 6th to save one life on April the 7th, that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. Then we're successful. And I'm going to go through behavior. I'm going to talk about post-traumatic stress disorder and how to turn that into more of a post-traumatic growth, because everybody's got some kind of trauma, and people forget that post-traumatic stress means you survived. How can you take that and equip yourself to save someone else? It happened, and I'll be giving all kinds of examples on the event, but it happened just a couple of weeks ago. I was trying to get my TRICARE squared away because I'm retired Army, so TRICARE can be a pain.
Good luck.
Yeah, so I was on the phone. I waited for a few minutes, and I finally got on, and the lady answered. She goes, "Hi, this is da," and she says her name in her intro. It was mundane. It was robotic. I was like, "The heck?" She was like, "Can you please give me your social?" So I gave that. She goes, "Your name, da, your retired rank, etc., and all the stuff that I got to give to sign on." She goes, "How can I help you?" I said, "You know what? My stuff's easy to fix. What's going on with you?" And she's like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "How is your day going?" She goes, "What do you mean?" And then she just starts crying. She goes, "This is embarrassing." I was like, "No, it's not." She goes, "Well, this stuff is recorded." I was like, "Man, I hope the freaking leadership listens to it." I was like, "Let's talk." We talked for 40-something minutes just about her stuff before I got to fix my stuff, which was relatively easy. And at the end of the conversation, when she just said, "Hey, look, I lost a friend. I don't know how to deal with it. He was my boyfriend. We broke up. Did I lead him to suicide?" So we'd had this huge conversation about it. It was just fortuitous, which
this just happened to you the other day.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago. And here's the causality of that. It must be happening way too often, and people don't have an outlet to talk to somebody about. And I said, "Do you guys have resources with TRICARE, your employer, to talk about this?" She goes, "Well, I know." I said, "What about your EAP?" And she goes, "Well, what's an EAP?" And I was like, "Oh man, wow, leadership is screwing up around here."
Yeah.
So it just happened, and she said she felt great, and I said, "Good. Tell your leadership, if you need to reach out, you've got my number on your screen."
Well, I think it's why, F3 obviously and NGBN in this goal here are just so missionally aligned. And it's why I know our guys are fired up about being a part of this, because if you've got men that are actively involved in F3, you're just as much a part of their life as anyone else. Like, odds are you could see them on a daily basis, right? So you're going to know if something's going on, or if you've seen a guy on a daily basis and all of a sudden you don't, maybe that's it as well. So Craig, we just wanted to give just a little, sneak preview as to what's coming up next Saturday, April the 6th, right? You got Easter Saturday this week, then you got the following Saturday. So you guys still have a little bit of time to get geared up. You go to ngbn.tv/save a life, get registered, and like Forge, like Scar, you and those guys, like what Repeato is going to be doing at the beach, like what we're going to be doing at the barbershop. If you got a group of guys that are going to be together, let us know, because we want to help highlight that. And we also want to make sure you've got what you need to show us that all these people are doing this thing together. Because can we reach 100,000 people in a day? You bet your ass we can.
Absolutely.
You bet your ass we can.
And look, we all have trauma. Look, I lost 182 men just to suicide in a 20-year career. So
wow.
I get it. And it's 100% preventable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to take monumental efforts like this to move the needle finally.
Yep.
Yeah. And it could be the icebreaker for it because it's like you said, no one has ever tried this before.
Yeah. So why not us and why not now? We can't wait another second. Can't wait another second.
We've got the right group of guys together that are all like-minded. We get commonality of language, and we will definitely save some lives.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt about that. All right. April the 6th is the date. It's ngbn.tv/save a life. He's Craig Hannum. Craig, dude, so excited, man. Excited for what you're doing in sort of the second phase of your career here, man. You served our nation proudly for many years, and we thank you for that. And I know that you feel, and our next guest coming up in the next block will know this word, feeling very unlocked, right, in what you're doing now through this. And so we're thrilled to see your D2X, what you were born to do for those who you were born to serve, take shape here. And so go get them, bro.
I promise you on April 6th, I will not be wearing my Red Sox cap.
Listen,
okay.
If we save lives, I'll wear a Red Sox hat. I could care less, bro. All right. It's all good.
This is being recorded, right?
Oh yeah. We'll see you in a couple days, in a couple weeks. Outstanding. I'm fired up for that guy. Fired up for him. Yeah.
Absolutely. The number is staggering. 182 dudes in a 20-year career is.
Well, listen, 105 guys in America today will do it.
Right.
So let that sink in. It's 105 families. Right.
Generation.
And we're doing it. Right. And we're stepping in. You guys are stepping into the breach every single morning by doing what you're doing in that circle of trust. Let's get you a little bit sharper. Let's add another tool. Right. Let's add another piece. I told
the beach group that's going, it's going to be probably 15 to 20 dudes. Yeah. And I said, we're subjected to being around any give or take a week, right? A couple of hundred different guys, depending on where you post, if you hop the wall, or if you do whatever, and you can guarantee that you are shoulder to shoulder with a dude that
it's happened here,
struggling.
It's happened here.
It's happened in our regions. It's happened in other regions, and you guarantee you're doing Merkins on the pavement next to a guy that's at a breaking point.
That's right.
And so what can
we're
you
gonna
do
get them through
potentially realize that and then have a conversation?
We are back after a quick break with none other than F3 Dark Helmet. This is the Circle of Trust.
Welcome to F3 Fitness, Fellowship, and Faith, where men come together for something more than just a workout. Our core principles define us: free of charge, open to all men, held outdoors, peer-led, and end in a circle of trust. Whether you want to run, lift heavy things, or focus on bodyweight exercises, F3 has over 4,000 workouts available worldwide. Join us, experience the camaraderie, the challenge, and the transformation of F3, where men can get right so that they can lead right.
Hi, Joel Maurer, founder of Dink Ninjas. Dink Ninjas was dreamed up and started right here in Austin, Texas, a dynamic pickleball community. We arm pickleballers with the paddles, apparel, and accessories to dink like a ninja. Dink Ninjas is dedicated to supporting mental health awareness and cancer research. Shop our full lineup at dinkninjas.com and enter code NGBNTV for 10% off site-wide.
Repeato, you've been known to dink like a ninja?
Sorry.
Come on now. Turn her on. Turn her on.
Some files remain classified.
Outstanding, man. A couple of high impact men in that last block. We've got another high impact man coming through. But before that, we better make way for Dark Helmet.
Have you notified Lord Helmet?
Yes, sir. I took the liberty. He's on his way.
Make way for Dark Helmet. All rise in the presence of Dark Helmet.
Please be seated. Be seated.
I didn't, well, I mean, not to open the kimono up. Whoever edited that and pulled that for the show didn't leave all the way to the part where that character, can't breathe and all those sort of things. We just, thought we'd have a little bit of fun.
That's probably good.
That's probably good right there.
We still got time for future segments to update the bumper there.
Well, that is something that we do want to announce, right? This is the first of many.
Oh, gosh, you guys are going to be inundated. By way of introduction, the day that his parents brought him home from the hospital, he was Frank Schwartz. The day that he joined our ranks here in F3, he then was affectionately renamed Dark Helmet. He has been arguably the most involved man in F3 Nation in the last
15 minutes.
But he does take the reins of Nan'tan, and I don't know if they've given you some other official title, but whatever. Nan'tan is the one that's the most important to us because it is the guy who provides sort of that visionary leadership for an organization that ideally then distills it down to the members of those organization, plants it on their hearts, and lets them go run with it. And there's none better serving to then take over in sort of the third iteration of this role, from Dread to Slaughter to now to Dark Helmet. So, brother, it's the first time we've had you live on the show since we had you live in the park in Apex, Cary Apex, a few weeks ago. So good to have you back, dude.
There we go. Good to be here.
Yeah. And so one of the things we want to do with some regularity, once a month, once every other week or so, is just get you in here, man, so we can make sure we're sharing with the guys stuff that's happening. First and foremost, one thing that you articulated really well on that day was what the focus of F3 from a nation level.
I had the same thought, Peter.
What
the focus is going on around here?
Put it on a shirt.
Did he put the inflection on the wrong syllable?
He put the inflection.
You're doing fine. You're doing fine.
The emphasis on the wrong syllable.
But the focus, right? Your view for what this thing ought to look like. So just tell us, man. Give us a little bit of that.
Well, I appreciate that. If you don't mind, if I just back up a quick second, just because you did mention,
beep, beep,
bring it back here. But we just heard from Craig, and you mentioned, that I have a particular interest in this kind of thing, and some people know, some people don't, right? But I'm a psychology guy by training, or by education rather. Did all my schooling was in psychology, and this is and worked in mental health for not quite a year, in emergency mental health, talking guys off bridges, stuff like that. Like, this is, real honest to goodness, frontline kind of stuff. And I'm going to tell you that, the days of the checklist, it was funny that he mentioned that specifically, because that's exactly how we were taught to do it. It was like, ask them these 6 questions. If they don't have good answers, then I guess I don't need tackle them. I don't know. What do you do? Right.
Yeah.
Contain that man. But this is going to be probably some of the most important training that we can receive as F3 men. Because we aren't professionals, we know that, right? We're not trained to do much. And I've seen some of your squats. Your fitness training isn't going well. No, I'm just kidding.
Are you talking? Clearly, you're not talking. That's the royal
present company excluded. No, but in all seriousness, this is very, very, very important. The single biggest group, and actually, I guess it's probably one of the top killers of men in the U.S. is suicide. And so, everything that we can do to help combat that, I think, is going to be incredibly important. And I'm grateful for what Craig's doing. I'm grateful for what you guys are doing, what NGBN is doing, because if we don't exist to do this kind of thing, then what the heck are we even out here?
What are we doing here? Right.
I mean, workouts are nice, but
it might be aligned with literally the ultimate pick up the 6.
Yeah.
Second leading death of men between the ages of 40 and 65.
Right behind heart disease.
Right.
No offense, pork roll.
Did you guys see they're going to start?
I got to pack in that Taylor ham, and then no.
Yeah, but we got to do something. And look, you guys, this is not you guys better get into shape and you better sign up for this. We know you're going to. We know you guys rally. You show up for these kind of things. The point is, you men watching, listening are well equipped, and you're on the front lines of this thing. You're around other men in your community every single day.
And really in its own way, this is like peak F3 in this sense. And this will segue very nicely into the next part of what I want to say. But
I believe it's pronounced segue.
I believe you're wrong, but it's that's neither here nor there. But this is kind of peak F3 in the sense that it's guys who saw something, have the initiative to take it on and to go and to do it, and then to spread it, right? What we've been saying, or what I've been saying, in fact, I tweeted about it, I think, just this morning. You can find me at Dark Helmet F3 on Twitter. But the idea that we exist as an organization at the nation level, we any amount of organization that we really have that's formalized really exists to teach, train, and equip the men of F3 Nation. This is clearly right in that wheelhouse there, right? This is teaching and training and equipping you to do something to actually lift and lead in your community, to take care of your brother next to you. So I couldn't commend that any higher to men to do it. I know that we'll talk about it again before the 6th. And that time actually comes. We're talking about it all next week, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And I'll be talking about it as well, because this is, I think it's super, super important. So that said, and kind of moving to that idea of the teach, train, and equip, you mentioned that I did kind of talk about it a little bit at the Nan'tan shovel flag handoff ceremony. It's one of those things where, we were all sitting in the room and it all sounded like a good idea. And you kind of, we drove on, to say, hey, we're going to make these things happen. And we started thinking to ourselves, what can F3 do? What can we build? What can we, create that will bless the lives of other men? And I think it's just sort of a natural progression of our, of being men, of, living in the world that we live in. And, you kind of scope creep just a little bit, right? And then pretty soon we're like, should we be doing that?
Right.
And one of the things that I learned from Slaughter when he took over from Dredd, he quoted from a book called Legacy. And we all know that's part of what we're here to do, right? Is to build legacy.
That's right.
Quoted from this book about legacy, or on legacy, about the New Zealand All Blacks rugby team. Yeah. The single most winning sports franchise in the history of sports franchises, so on and so on. Way better than the Red Sox. I mean, like, not even close, right? So these guys, one of the things they said was, when you're at the top of your game, change your game.
Which sounds counterproductive, right? You're doing great. Keep going.
Exactly. But you know something, Kitty and Repeato? I've been saying this for a little while, and I think it really serves us, and I think it's a vision that I would love if F3 men would catch, and that is, our job as F3 is to be anti-organized.
Yeah.
Right.
And it drives some people. It probably drives some people crazy.
It
how we go about it
does. And I love that. And in fact, we need the guys who it drives crazy to stick around so that we don't get way off in the weeds. Because I'm the first one to run off the trail and be like, that's a shiny object, right? So we got to have all the guys, every swinging Richard, as Dredd said. But that's the idea, right? Everything that a normal organization, a normal societal organization would do, we're going to look and say, well, what if we twist that? What if we turn it on its head? What if we do it the opposite of that? So at the top of our game, we decided it was time to change our game. We got everybody in the same room again. We all sat down as a leadership team, and we said, no sacred cows. I mean, and I'm talking about even down to the mission. Do we still have the mission right? Is this what we ought to be doing still? And kind of, and we identified a number of strategic pillars and things that kind of came out of that. And then when Slaughter was like, guess what? It's your turn. I was like, oh, I guess I better formalize this into some sort of a coherent thought and get it out there to the men.
Right.
So here we are. Right. And the fact is that the mission is the right mission. And it's so much the right mission. The 5 core principles are the right core principles, and there's so much the right 5 core principles. The credo is the credo, right? And so much so, not only is none of it changing, we're going to say anything that is ancillary, anything that would be perceived as an appendage.
Yeah, we're doubling down.
Things,
we're doubling down.
Exactly. We're done with that. And so what does that mean? Well, I don't want to spoil the surprise as it kind of continues to roll out, but things like well, I think I'm okay saying this, and I hope nobody's going to get mad at me or too mad at me. But you know what it is?
It is also the circle of trust. So
it's true, a gigantic circle.
and you're talking through things that are developing and that we're looking to give examples of, like.
But I'll give you an
example. This is going to look like.
We had spent a lot of time thinking. How we're gonna make community leaders is we can start a foundation. We can have people donate to the foundation. We can give grants to guys to accelerate the leadership that they're doing in their communities.
Yeah.
And as we kind of got down that road a little ways, we said, we're not supposed to do that. We're not the world fixers. Our job isn't, we're supposed to fix men.
Our job is to get in the heart of that man. That's
exactly.
Right.
And then the men will go fix the world. Right.
Well
so
said.
I can tell you this for 2024 and probably forever, there aren't going to be any more grants. When you give money now, it's not going to be granted to somewhere else in F3 Nation. It's going to come and it's going to go directly to serving the mission. Right? That's going to be the job of that money. Every resource we have is going to be dedicated directly to those things. Now, is there anything wrong with donating money or, seeding projects or things like that? Of course not. And it definitely did a ton of good. And I mean a ton of good in a lot of communities. But what we realized is that that keeps too much centralized, right? And doesn't decentralize enough. And that's part of our goal. And then another thing about it is you could give that money directly, right? And do good where you are, right? And your dollars can stay local. And, the big thing about it is that we're supposed to be training, teaching, and equipping. And that's not in that anywhere. Right. Yeah. And so we figure if we can be absolutely the best that we possibly can be at unlocking men and taking a man and giving him a little bit of fitness and a little bit of confidence and putting in his mind the idea even that he no longer needs permission to be who God created him to be. Right. If we can take that little piece and we can pass that over and then get him some friends, some men around him that can help him on that journey. Because friends, I don't know how to tell you this. April 6th is going to tell you in big ways, you can't do this by yourself.
That's right.
And if you think you can, you're screwed.
Yeah.
And everyone who tells me, well, I got it taken care of. You might right now. And everybody does when the sun is shining and your belly's full. Right. But when it's not that way, you don't have it all together, then what? And so we get men around you to help you out. And then really that third F, the faith part is understanding your purpose on this earth as it relates to the things that are more important than you, the things that are bigger than you and bigger than your little worldview, right? So you snag onto that purpose and you go and live that out in service to a thing that is bigger than you. And I'm here to tell you, that's when the world changes. That's when the world changes. And no offense to, anything that's happened in the past, but my giving money and then it goes to a project somewhere else in America, while that's wonderful, that's just impact. It's not leadership. Writing a check is impact, and impact is an important part of leadership, but you want to lead someone to impact. You don't want to just write a check and be like, done my leadership duty.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what I'd rather see, Kitty, and this is the vision that I want men to catch, is rather than worrying about organizing big community events and saying, I led this event or I did this thing. Look, I'm telling you right now, the organizations already exist, right? Now, if you're D2X and your purpose on earth and you're absolutely 100% sure that your job is to lean in and make this thing, the best it can possibly be, awesome. Love it. Do it, right? 100%. But if for some reason that's not your thing, which most of us it's not, instead of reinventing the wheel and coming up with some new community organization or something like that, what I'd rather you do, and I believe that this is what we are, is an organization of infiltration. I believe that we should go and teach those people who are already doing the things, have already figured out the processes. You go in there, be on their board. You go teach those people how to lead themselves. No more giving away fish, right?
Yeah.
Every one of us should be learning how to fish and then teaching the man behind us how to fish better. And that's 100% what I believe that we ought to exist for and nothing else. And I will make zero apology for that whatsoever. Someone's going to come and say, well, shouldn't you? And I'll look right at him in the face and go, if you can help me draw the line from where it attaches to our mission, it gives, the opportunity for men to lead other men in how to lead, all that kind of, like, if you can tie that together for me, we'll consider it. But I promise you, if you come and say, what we ought to do is, I'm gonna look right at you and go, well, how can we unlock you more to do that? How can we help you do that? Because we ain't doing it. We're not spending a single dollar, a single hour, none of it. It's not happening. The resources that we have are limited, and in my mind, next to sacred. Next to sacred. The money that you put in here, in whatever fashion it comes in, we want to be such good stewards of that it is as clear as day where it all goes, and that every single penny, as close as we can, right? I mean, you still gotta pay, accountants and stuff like that, right? No offense, overhead. I mean, fellas, right?
Yeah.
So you got some of that, but basically that every dollar, every dime goes exactly where it ought to go. And that is 100% on equipping men, to become leaders, virtuous leaders, and then to teach them how to go and do the same. And behind them, and so on and so on and so on forever.
Yeah.
Right. A perpetual legacy machine.
Yep.
That's the goal. That's the vision. I think that's what we're supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Repeato, any thoughts from your brain before we wrap it up with him?
So many thoughts.
He's like, if we could only get that guy to shut up.
I'm gonna schedule a nap during these segments. No,
terrible. That's terrible. Stop.
I know.
So good.
He
but
can
you said
fire
something there.
Me fire us?
I mentioned this on a conversation with you guys. Maybe I said it on the show, right? But the Olympic rowing team from the 40s, where every decision was made that if it doesn't make the boat go faster, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's perfectly in line with what you're saying. Another thing came to mind was, I don't know if Gus is watching today, but like when you start thinking about Nick Saban and the top of his craft, Marty Smith asked him one time in an interview about what kills success, and his easiest number one quickest response was complacency.
Yeah, for sure.
And so we're talking about that as well. So I'm excited for the focused intentional effort here. And something else you said right there at the end, where like financial resources are limited, but the packs of this nation are unlimited in their potential to carry this mission forward to that next man and pave that 43 feet. Right. So a focused effort in all of this is where we need to be. And I'm excited to be but a small part.
You know what that sounds like, Kitty? That there sounds like a quote with Repeato.
Well, I was going to say roll damn time. Roll time.
That's right. Roll tide. Roll tide.
That's good, man. Hey, before we let you go, brother.
Yeah.
What do you need? Because you got the packs watching. What do you need the packs of F3 Nation doing tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow, get your lazy butt out of bed and go to a workout. That's number one, right?
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do. I would say the thing I can ask you to do tomorrow is stop being a consumer and start being a contributor. Stop being a consumer, start being a contributor. Quit worrying about yourself and get out there and figure out how to serve your fellow man.
Also, register for the Equip to Save a Life event on April the 6th.
Ding.
No,
Welcome to Family.
it's not what I was getting at. I was just asking him a legitimate question, but we would love to have you be a part of this thing. NGBN.TV/. Bro, good to see you. Love you, bro.
Same.
Helmet, thank you, brother.
Whoa, he's out. Peace out.
Get him off the screen.
Peace out.
Bring out the hook.
Bring out the hook. We got two more things to get to before we wrap up this show. I think we're officially into overtime for those of you keeping score at home, but it's all good. It's good, as good as it can be, I suppose.
It's going to be. It's going to be good.
Now, listen, I know that you guys for 1 week have been waiting with bated breath for this Hunt for Wellness update. You know what I'm saying? You got to be. You got to be, because we teased it up last week and I dropped the proverbial ball. With a metaphorical ball. I never know which one it is. And we left our man Bones high and dry, but he's back with the Hunt for Wellness segment, talking about the coffee break.
Hit me.
Hello, COT. It's another great day for wellness. This is Bones with a health tip for the packs of F3 Nation. If you tuned in to last week's show, you may remember that one of the show's loyal viewers commented that I suggested he give up coffee in the past. And although neither Kitty or Repeato could remember if I had, I'm here to set the record straight. First of all, just a sincere thanks to our brother Gus for being a longtime listener and actually paying attention to the tips that I share. Gus is absolutely right in the fact that I did do a health tip about taking a coffee break way back in October of 2020. In that episode, I shared that packs who are struggling with sleep issues, anxiety, or even elevated blood pressure may find that giving up coffee for 30 days may have great benefits to them. Caffeine is the world's most used drug, and unfortunately, many people are simply addicted to it. Caffeine can cause hormones like cortisol to spike and lead to syndromes like adrenal fatigue. Research, however, is unclear on whether coffee is actually unhealthy for you. Studies have shown many positive and negative outcomes as a result of using caffeine, leaving individuals with the choice of whether it's best for them or not. If you do choose to drink coffee, there are some strategies I suggest you consider. First, the bean quality matters. Unfortunately, many beans can develop mold due to storing facilities and processing, so buying from a reputable source will be important. Second, pay attention to what you add to your coffee. Sweeteners and creamers can add a lot of extra sugar and ingredients that can wreak havoc on your health. Thirdly, time of day matters. Research shows that waiting at least 90 minutes after waking is best for absorption and effect, and that drinking too late in the day can interfere with sleep due to caffeine's 6-hour half-life. So Pax, if you love coffee, continue to drink it. If you are suffering from sleep issues, anxiety, or even elevated blood pressure, then taking a break from coffee may just be what you need. Thanks again to Gus for bringing this up, and if you have a health tip you would like me to discuss, please email me at bones@huntforwellness.com or find me on the Nation's Slack channel at Bones. Kitty and Repeato, I know you boys enjoy a good cup of joe. Keep up the great work, man. This has been Bones guiding the Packs of F3 Nation on their hunt for wellness. Gotta go.
I could watch that. God, he's good. Oh, hey, look at you. Oh, don't mind me. Is that a Muggo cup? By the way, read the Muggo. Secondly, Team Black Coffee and Yellow Beer is coming at you. You're looking at the two co-founders.
Founding
Coffee,
partners.
The founding partners of the Black Coffee and Yellow Beer movement that is swiffering across the nation.
Literally.
Followed on Instagram, Black Coffee and Yellow Beers. Doesn't get updated as nearly as much as it should, but it is a good follow.
That's about to change. I promise you that.
I promise you that much. But he's 100% right. And I've moved into that 90-minute post wake up coffee. Rarely do I wake up and go right for a cup of coffee at this point.
Well, you come over and have one with hot sauce at 2:33 in the morning.
Between 2:33 and 3:24 a.m. Oh boy, God bless her. God bless her.
But yeah, it's funny to think back about life pre-coffee when he's talking about being addicted to it and how the stimulant nature of that is what really is getting people's attention, or it's the warmth of the mug in the hand. Like you hear people talk about that quit smoking. It's the missing of just the cigarette in the fingers more so than
best part of waking up.
Here we go. But
I remember this time I came back from that semester abroad and my sister was waiting for Get out of here, man. All right, listen, before the show goes off the rails at the end here, the viewers are waiting for the highly coveted, always anticipated, never duplicated quote worth Repeato. And this week you've got a good one for us. So let's tee it up, bro.
Well, are they not always good? Is that
they're always
saying
good.
That some are dog?
That was it was a compliment. Just take the compliment for what it is. You got a good one this week.
If
you didn't, I wouldn't say anything. I would just be like, hey, do the quote.
I was telling you earlier, this week's quote is from a guy named D.L. Moody.
Yes. Dwayne Lyman Moody, co-founder of the band Moody Blues. Fun fact.
Yeah. Nights in white satin. So you can see the quote there reflected up on the screen. Lighthouses don't fire cannons to call attention to their shining. They just shine. And so as we embark on, one of the things I always say, one of the things I always say when I go through a COT after leading a workout, when I cue and I bring the guys in for a ball man or a huddle or something, one of the things I always say is grateful to be able to come out this morning to sweat out the toxins and let the light shine in. But one thing I think I might switch that up to say, to then somehow push that light back out.
Yeah.
Because in F3 parlance, we've got the term sunshine bazooka, which somebody usually is won during a GTE, where it's just that ray of sunshine. It's not purposely done. It's that guy's outlook on life. It's how he carries himself. It's how he brings out the best in others. And so I thought this one was pretty cool, that they don't fire cannons, but a lighthouse is a protector. It's a guide. It's it illuminates the dangers of the navigation of life, of the waterway. And so there's a lot of metaphors behind it that I thought was worth sharing. And here in late May.
I liked it. And part of my thought too was sometimes you got to be the lighthouse, steady, lights on, cannon free. Sometimes you got to be the fort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Sure.
sometimes you got to be, that's the space I'm in right now was cool. When I'm in lighthouse mode, let's shine the light and I don't have to fire the cannons. But every now and then my bro's going to be in lighthouse mode and I gotta cannons up and I got to be the fort. So I also took that part of it as well.
Yeah.
Knowing when.
The cannon should always be armed and ready.
Listen, their walls are built with cannonballs. Their motto is "Don't tread on me." So, Grateful Dead. Write that down, bro. Good show. Heck of a show.
Big
Hour
Big
plus.
show.
We went today. Well, listen, when you got 3 high impact men like Pork Roll, Craig Hannum, Dark Helmet joining us, we got to get our man Craig. Hey, Craig, we got to get Craig into an F3 gloom. He lives in a nomadic part of the country where there's not much offerings where he's at. So we got to figure that part out. And we know he's ready to bring it on. So we got to figure out how we can get him to one or get it. We'll figure it out. We'll effort that for sure. Cause he's in a bit of a nomadic place as it relates to that. But man, it's good stuff. All right, bro.
Take that on as a challenge for 2024.
That we will. Have a great rest of your day and I'll catch up with you down the road.
You do the same, bro.
Love you, bro.
All right. Love you too.
That's what we do here, guys. Right? It's all good. We can say it to the men of F3 Nation watching. If another man hasn't told you to stay, and obviously we hope he has, but if he hasn't, we love you. The nation loves you. We'll see you next week. Have a great Easter, and we'll join you next time on the Circle of Trust Show.
This has been the Circle of Trust. Whether you're watching on NGBN TV or across the F3 Nation platforms, be sure to rate, review, and share our show. And download the NGBN TV app today on your favorite streaming device.
I'm Brian Jodas, 42. Hello, Kitty.
And I'm Jamie Roseborough, 40. Repeato.
And this has been the Circle of Trust.